Hello there, and a very, very warm welcome to this week's France Buying Guide's YouTube presentation. Well, there's a real feeling of spring in the air down here in the Languedoc-Roussillon. The blossoms out everywhere, and it really does feel like it's time to wash away those winter blues. As February draws to a close, maybe you are planning a little trip over to France, a short break perhaps, or even to look for a property. Well, I've always thought that there's nothing nicer than ambling along those French country roads, perhaps going on something of a magical mystery tour, and that way discovering new places. It's an absolute joy. If you're uncertain about driving in France, don't be. It really is a pleasure to drive here. It's much less stressful. In fact, it's almost like a different pastime, I've always thought. For a start, of course, there's far less traffic, and you can pretty much predict what time you'll get somewhere rather than it taking anything from sort of 20 minutes to an hour and a half. That's my memory, at least, of driving in the UK. Many of the country roads are long and straight, those wonderful tree-lined roads which we all know and love. Also, though, the motorways are better, I feel. There's obviously a toll system, so you have to pay. Having said that, though, again, there's less traffic, and there's no road tax in France, so it's sort of meted out by the tolls. But a result of that, there's far less roadworks. The motorways are kept in much better condition. There's a few points to be aware of. It is actually mandatory to carry with you a fluorescent yellow jacket and a warning triangle. That really is something that you should have to keep inside the car with you on display. And the other thing which I've always thought is really important, it's something which I still have to be aware of, is the priorité à droite rule here, which means that somebody coming from your right has priority. Unless it's a road marked where they don't, you have to be aware, even if you're on what seems to be a more major road. If in doubt, slow down when you've got somebody coming at you from the right. We've got quite a few friends who are a little bit wary of driving on the other side of the road, and maybe you're one of those people too. But I would urge you to banish those fears. It's like anything really. Practice makes perfect. Once you start, you'll soon become accustomed to it, especially once you've gone around a few roundabouts. I do think human beings are pretty adaptable, and as I say, it will become second nature, so don't be put off by that at all. The other tip I've got for you here is if you're thinking of possibly coming to France for a second home or to live here, don't buy a car in France. They're very expensive. I'm not quite sure why, but they are. You'll be far better off buying a car either in England or indeed Germany or Belgium, which is, I believe, the cheapest country in Europe, and then coming here and re-registering it for French plates. I've got a lot of information about that. The whole process is not difficult, a little bit of bureaucracy, but that's France for you. But that's all in my France Buying Guide, and you can see how to get your copy of that here on the site. There's also a lot of hot tips there about general living in France, so do arm yourself with a copy if you haven't already done so. Well, it's a lovely sunny day here again, so I'm going to be off and out and about shortly, but I hope this finds you well. Looking forward to spring, the days are stretching, and I leave you with another little toast and bonne santé. Bye bye.